Hey, Anime Stark fam. Get ready for another wild what-if adventure in My Hero Academia. In Part 4, we explore Deku's unconventional marriages to 4 heroines and a mysterious murderer. It's a roller coaster of love, danger, and heroism. Don't miss out, hit subscribe and let's dive into this unique anime twist together. Izuku is doing his own thing, but let's focus on our group of heroines who are at the mall, scattered around and looking at things. Now, let's zero in on Ryukyu, who is in a store with Nemuri's items. However, all of Nemuri's products are very provocative in terms of their poses. Ryukyu, darn it. What can I buy for Izuku? Nemuri's merchandise has provocative poses. She says this while looking at everything until she sees a Nemuri figure in the distance with a normal pose. This prompts Ryukyu to grab it and approach the counter where a girl is. Girl, are you going to want that figure? Ryukyu, yes. Also, do you have any posters of Midnight without provocative poses? Girl, I need to check. Can you wait a few minutes? Ryukyu, yes. Thank you very much. The girl goes towards a door, opens it, and enters a room while Ryukyu continues to look at all the figures, posters, plush toys, among other Nemuri items. Ryukyu, I can't believe so many things like these are still for sale. With Kaina. Our sharpshooter is in a store with Mirko's products, but she is not happy at all. Kaina, angry, why the heck do I have to buy things from that damn bunny? Angry. She says this, wanting to kill Ryukyu on the inside for suggesting that she buys things from Mirko. Kaina approaches some figures, grabs them, and takes them to the counter, telling the girl to buy those along with a poster and a medium-sized plush toy. Kaina, with this, I'm done with this. With Mirko. Our bunny is looking at a figure of Kaina, which is quite expensive because it's the only one left. Mirko, well, I have to make an effort to earn his trust, and if this is a step towards that, I'll do it. Mirko enters the store, asks for the Kaina figure, and the store attendant goes to get it and brings it to Mirko. Mirko, by any chance, do you have any Lady Nagant posters? Store attendant, I'll try to find one, as it's been many years since merchandise of her has been made. Mirko, thank you very much. Mirko waits for the store attendant. Mirko, I hope he likes the gift. Although gifts don't solve things. Mirko, well, either way, I'll make an effort for him to trust me. How stupid I was to act and treat him badly. Maybe if I hadn't acted like that, I could be with him helping him now. Mirko, well, I just have to make an effort and. Mirko hugs herself and then sighs. Mirko, I feel quite lonely. She says in her mind while waiting for the store attendant to return. With Nemuri. Our gorgeous lady is looking at some products and figures of Ryukyu. Nemuri, alright. I guess I'll take these. Nemuri buys the figures and a medium-sized plush toy. She then exits the store and looks at another store selling some other things, causing her to walk towards it. With you. Our lovely blonde is looking at some All Might and Aizawa figures. She sweats a bit because the Aizawa figures don't have much emotion, as he is just standing, while the All Might ones have different poses. You, come on. You, think. Which one will he like more? She says this while looking at the figures, then sighs and grabs 4, 2 Aizawa and 2 All Might. You, I think he'll really like these. You looks at the plush toy section and grabs 2 medium-sized plush toys. She pays for them, leaves the store, and walks towards another store selling her products. Upon arriving, she buys some figures, 1 poster, and 1 plush toy. You, done. With this, I've done my part. Although I could also give him something nice besides this. You walks through the mall until she reaches another store, where our beautiful blonde enters and starts looking at some things. After 3 hours, they are all together in the parking lot, putting the things in the car. Once done, they head towards Izuku's house. Izuku is in his room, but he's inside the clothes closet, where our protagonist has a door that, when opened, reveals a secret room with 2 large armchairs, a desk with a computer, and a chair. Izuku, well, I guess I can create my gamer room as I've always wanted, hee hee. Our protagonist says this while looking at the room, which is quite large. Izuku, although I'll do that gradually since I need to focus on setting up the food joint I have in mind. Our protagonist leaves the room and goes down to his workplace where he's finishing up some improvements. He dedicated a lot of time to creating a place to store his armor, and this place has a mechanism allowing it to move up and down. This way, he can keep his armor hidden, and when needed, he can quickly retrieve it. Izuku, alright, everything is ready. Now I just need to put it into operation. Our protagonist takes a remote control with a button, presses it, and the front wall moves forward, then shifts to the right, revealing a space where his armor is. Something like this: just imagine the other armors aren't there. Something like this: just imagine the other armors aren't there. Izuku: good. It works quite well. Jarvis: my lord, the heroines have arrived. Izuku: thanks for letting me know, Jarvis. Izuku presses the button again, causing the wall to return to its place, hiding the armor. Izuku: Jarvis, tonight we'll try to break the record for flying the highest. Jarvis: okay, my lord. I'll have everything ready. Izuku: also, I'll give you a new function to control the entire house and even this new place. Jarvis: very well, my lord. Izuku: now, let's get back to the plans for the shop I want to open. I also plan to start by establishing a company that manufactures robotic things. I'll take care of more technological stuff to start fulfilling my dream. Jarvis: I'll assist you as much as I can, my lord. Izuku: all right. Thanks, Jarvis. Jarvis: you're welcome, my lord. I'm here to serve and help you in everything. Izuku: well, let's continue with the plans. And so, our protagonist starts working on the plans while the heroines are in his room, arranging the figures, posters, and plush toys. They also bought All Might blankets for Izuku. The heroines finished organizing things in Izuku's room and went down to his workplace. Kaina took a scarf and blindfolded Izuku, surprising him. Izuku: what are you doing, Kaina-chan? Kaina: don't say anything. We have a surprise for you. Izuku: a surprise? Ryukyu: yes, so just do what we tell you. Izuku: all right. Kaina lifts Izuku and starts taking him to his room, with the other heroines following. Upon reaching the room, Kaina removes the blindfold, and Izuku sees that his room is filled with posters, figures, and other items of heroes and heroines. He is quite surprised and walks towards the figures, examining them closely while the heroines silently watch him. Izuku: why did you do this? Kaina: we understand that we messed up, and we know we have hidden things we haven't told you yet. To make up for not telling you about the Ouija, we did this. Ryukyu: we know how much you like heroes, so we decided to do this to at least get you to forgive us and not be angry. Plus, each of us bought different things to try and get along, even if it's not possible. Izuku: I see. Nemuri: did you like the gift? Izuku: yes. Izuku looks at the heroines, and they stare at him. Izuku: thanks, but it wasn't necessary for you to spend your money on these things. Mirko: don't worry. We have plenty of money, and at least we used it for something good. Izuku: Miss Mirko. Mirko: also, I realize that I'm alone and that if I keep acting arrogant and fierce, I'll never have important people in my life. So, at least, I want to try to earn your trust and apologize for everything I did. Everyone present is quite surprised by Mirko's words. She looks at Izuku seriously, who has an expression of surprise. Mirko: so, I'm really sorry for everything. Izuku is even more surprised, but after a few seconds, he reacts. Izuku: well. I can't forgive you for everything you did, but at least I can give you the chance to try to fix everything. Mirko: yes, that's what I want, and I also need to repay you properly for the help you're giving me. Izuku: yes, although I haven't finished helping you yet. The priest told me that the cleansing won't last forever, and they can only get rid of the entity if they play the Ouija again. This time, there will be a priest to help because he has to ensure the entity returns to where it belongs since the earthly world is not for evil spirits or any other spirit. He says while looking at the heroines, who shiver a bit upon hearing what Izuku said. Ryukyu: so, when will that be? Izuku: tomorrow. We'll go to Miss Mirko's house because that's where the portal is. The entity appears and disappears there. Mirko: yes, we played that game at my house. Izuku: so, that's where we'll send the entity to the other place. The heroines nod, then sigh, while our protagonist walks past them and goes down to the first floor, where he starts cooking. The heroines go down and help him, and our protagonist starts yawning because he hasn't slept at all. Still, he manages to stay on his feet until they finish cooking and start eating. A new day begins, and our main character wakes up early because today is the day they will help their waifus get rid of the dark entity. But first, they have breakfast and then head to Mirko's house, where the heroines get out of the car, and our main character goes to find Mirko's father. Ryukyu: well, today we will get rid of that dark entity. she says while looking at the house, just like the other girls. Kaina, we'll have to tell Izuku-kun all our secrets. Mirko, don't forget that you were in a cult when you were younger. Kaina, and you were involved in various demonic rituals. I think I made a mistake by hanging out with you guys. Nemuri, X2. Ryukyu, X3. Kaina, just be quiet. They keep talking among themselves until Izuku arrives with the father, who, upon getting out, feels a strong demonic presence in the house, as well as Kaina and Mirko, causing the father to put rosaries on all 5 women, even Izuku, who feels quite calm with the rosary on. Father, all right. First of all, I want you to know that we have to do this with respect because it's quite serious. The entity that was invited is a powerful demon, but if you have faith in God, you can get rid of the demon. Also, you two are quite charged with negative energy. He says while looking at everyone, but then looks at Kaina and Mirko, who get nervous, making our main character look at them, causing Kaina to feel Izuku's angry gaze, who has the idea that Mirko and Kaina did something, and that's why they are so charged. Father, well. Now we will enter, and you will play with the Ouija again because we need to close the portal you left open in the house. The 5 women nod, and Mirko opens the door to the house. The father starts to enter, followed by the women and Izuku, who closes the door upon entering. The father moves things in the living room, leaving an empty space where Mirko places the Ouija, which she took from a piece of furniture. Father, all right. The 5 of you form a circle since you were the ones who played this. I'll be saying strong prayers to help you avoid possession. The 5 women nod, forming a circle around the Ouija. Father, well, it's time to start. The 5 women nod, placing their index fingers on the cursor of the board. They ask if there's any spirit wanting to talk to them, but nothing happens. They sigh and try again, receiving a response this time as the cursor moves to yes, surprising them. The fear begins to invade them. Father, don't be afraid. If you have the dark entity, it will use your fear. The heroines listen to the father, calming down a bit and continue asking questions. Kaina asks what the entity wants, and it spells out the word soul. Mirko, do you want our souls? The cursor moves to yes, shocking the heroines, and fear begins to creep in again as the cursor moves to spell out you will die, and I will take your souls. Father, keep calm, or it will have more power. Mirko, how can we stay calm if the damn demon wants to kill us and take our souls? Everyone hears footsteps on the 2nd floor, making the heroines even more frightened as doors start to slam. Izuku, listen to the father. You liked playing with this shit, didn't you? Now take responsibility and stay calm because it's all your fault. He says angrily, surprising the heroines, but their fear increases as they hear things falling on the 2nd floor. The father warns not to take their fingers off the cursor, or it will be more dangerous. Father, I can feel more than one demonic entity, but they are not as strong. We need to send them back where they belong. The heroines feel and see the board moving a bit, and the cursor starts moving outside the board. Izuku intervenes and touches the board, keeping it firmly on the ground. Father, son, why did you do that? Izuku, if they take their fingers off the cursor, they'll be possessed. But if they don't, they'll be fine until they finish the game and close the portal. I'll keep the board on the ground, you take care of the rest. The heroines are surprised, looking at each other, and then nod, gathering more courage while the father says strong prayers. Things start to move vigorously, the house's lights flicker, and glass items break, creating a mess. Despite this, our heroines have courage because Izuku is helping them. Izuku suddenly starts feeling intense pain throughout his body, groaning and almost letting go of the board. Kaina, in particular, becomes worried about her love, almost releasing the cursor. However, Izuku acts quickly, grabbing Kaina's hand to prevent her from letting go, surprising her and the other heroines. They are all shocked to see severe scratches on Izuku's hands, with blood oozing from the wounds. Izuku, don't you dare let go of the cursor. None of you let go, or we're lost. He says as scratches continue to appear on his body, even on his cheeks, making the heroines more concerned. Father, the demons are hurting Izuku to make him release the board. We have to finish this quickly. It's time to end the session and close the portal. The heroines look at Izuku, who is still exerting a lot of effort to keep the board on the ground. They gather more courage and begin the plan to end the session and close the portal so that the demons leave the house. The father prays even harder, causing the house to tremble, and the windows break. The 5 heroines scream loudly, being thrown back, crashing into various things. The board levitates and explodes, making the father fall to his knees, and Izuku feels intense pain due to the superficial and internal injuries. Father, we did it. We sent the demons to hell and closed the portal. Kaina, love. She says as she runs towards the injured Izuku on the ground. The heroines and the father rush towards Izuku. The father uses holy water on Izuku, causing him to groan again as the father removes the demonic presence from his body. After a few minutes, Izuku stops groaning, and the heroines call an ambulance. Kaina, Ryukyu, and Nemuri accompany Izuku, while Mirko and Yu stay behind to clean the house with the father, removing the demonic influence from the furniture. After a few hours, everything is cleaned up, and the father leaves along with the two heroines, using Izuku's car. Izuku wakes up in a hospital bed with bandages on his arms and holy water cotton balls forming two blessed X's. Izuku, where am I? He asks as he sits up on the bed, looking around and seeing the 5 heroines approaching him. He smiles at them. Kaina, love, how do you feel? Izuku, fine. I still feel a bit of pain, but not as much as before. Ryukyu, darling, are you really okay? Izuku, yes, don't worry. Nemuri, thank you for what you did for us. We really appreciate it since no one would risk getting possessed by 5 women. Izuku, calm down. Don't worry. I did it because you all mean a lot to me, and I want you to be okay. I also don't want a demon following me around. Mirko, what do you mean by that? Izuku, well, when I spoke to the father and told him about the situation, I also mentioned that paranormal things happened to me. He said it's probably because one of the demons from Miss Mirko's house followed me. But when I entered the church, it stayed outside because demons can't enter churches. Mirko, but how did a demon follow you if you never went to my house, except that one time you asked me? Izuku, the demons followed you when you moved in with me. During that time, one of the demons got attached to me. When we separated, that demon stayed with me and eventually started acting up. However, it didn't harm me then because my mother is always with me, protecting me. The father noticed my mother's presence, and that's why he told me that. In a way, my spirit kept the demon somewhat at bay. The 5 heroines are quite surprised to hear what Izuku said, and he smiles. Mirko, Izuku. Izuku, yes? Mirko, thank you so much for what you did. You helped me a lot, and I don't know how to thank you. Izuku, just by changing your attitude and being a better person, I feel repaid. Izuku smiles, and Mirko approaches him, giving him a kiss on the cheek, surprising and making the other heroines jealous. Kaina, hey, you, back off from him. Ryukyu, damn rabbit, stay away from my Izuku. Nemuri, Izuku is mine and only mine. None of you witches will take him away. She says while grabbing Izuku's head and burying it in her chest, making Izuku blush a lot. Yu looks at Nemuri and the others, feeling a bit jealous. I don't know why I feel jealous. She says in her mind, turning away, while the other heroines try to get Izuku away from Nemuri, who refuses to let go. Izuku, damn. I escaped from one hell and entered another. It's been a few days since our main character left the hospital, and now he's talking to Nezu about his idea of having a food place. Nezu, so, you want to have a food place where robots serve the customers? Izuku, yes, but to buy an old place they're selling, I need someone older, and the only person I trust for that is you or Professor Aizawa because, there are papers to sign and all that. Nezu, I see. I can help you with that, but it has to be after you come back from the Island trip. Izuku, okay. Nezu, also, the sports festival is coming up, but I know you don't have a quirk, so. Izuku, don't worry, director. I'll participate to promote my inventions. That way, rich people or pro-heroes might buy my robots and inventions. Nezu, sounds good. And with the Island trip, you'll learn a lot about technology, maybe invent even more advanced things. Izuku, yeah. I also want the food place to be totally futuristic. I have some ideas noted down that will help when fixing up the place. Nezu, alright. You have my support for the place. Izuku, thank you, director. Nezu, young Midoriya, I want to talk to you about something important. Izuku, yes? Nezu, I'll be direct, no lies, or you'll lose my support. Okay? Izuku, huh? What do you mean? Izuku, oh no, did he find out? Nezu, it's something important, and I believe you can help. Izuku, sure? Nezu, I want to know if you're the one behind the hero suit Iron Man. Izuku is surprised, caught off guard by Nezu's direct approach. He's torn between lying and losing Nezu's support or confessing and potentially facing problems. He quickly thinks of a plan. Izuku, oh, why is he so smart? In his mind, he curses while looking at Nezu, who stares seriously. Izuku, unable to think of anything else, decides on a course of action. Izuku, if I admit it, maybe I can ask for more help in improving my suit and inventing new things. He has to accept it, otherwise, I'll stop making robots for him. Besides, there are other people I can sell my robots to. Izuku, alright, I've got it figured out. Izuku sighs, causing Nezu to raise an eyebrow. Izuku, yes, it's me. I'm the one behind the Iron Man hero suit. He says while looking at Nezu, who sighs and then smiles. Nezu, I knew it. Izuku, huh? Nezu, I've been watching you for a long time. You don't know, but I have good spy stuff too. Nezu looks at Izuku, who is totally surprised. Nezu, I'm glad you're honest with me. I wanted you to tell me, not force you. Izuku, more like you forced me. Nezu, if I didn't, you wouldn't have told me. But I'm glad you did. Now I can help you. I know you want to be a hero, and with that suit, you can. What kind of director would I be if I didn't support my students? Nezu smiles, surprising Izuku. He recovers and smiles back. Izuku, really, you'll help me? Nezu, of course. After all, you asked me for the police radio, which is unusual. Izuku, sorry, but I wanted to keep it a secret because I thought you'd be mad at me for doing what I do. Nezu, my boy, I've supported you a lot, and I'll keep doing it. But I want you to trust me more and tell me when you do something related to the hero world. People without hero licenses are chased by police and heroes, you know. Izuku, I know. Nezu, good. I'm glad you know, so you can enter hero classes if you win the sports festival. As you know, you need a license to be a legal hero. Izuku, but I don't want people to know I'm Iron Man. It could cause problems in the future. Nezu, I understand. That's why I want you to invent things that can help you in the sports festival. Izuku, okay, I'll try. Also, I need your help with something important I want to do. Nezu, tell me how I can help. Izuku, I want to improve my suit or invent a better one, but I need to buy parts. I also need to upgrade my workspace because I need a mechanism to put the suit on me in parts. It's uncomfortable to get inside the whole suit. Nezu, okay, I'll help you with everything you need. Izuku, thank you so much, director. Seriously, thank you for supporting me in this. Also, I have something interesting to tell you. Nezu, what would that be? Izuku, I have a new goal besides being a hero. Nezu, really? Izuku, yes. I want to be the person who integrates advanced technology into our world. For example, invent futuristic things that help people in their daily lives. Izuku, that's my goal. I've been thinking about it for a while, and creating things never seen before or things that help me and others is what I love. I'm passionate about creating and inventing things. I love technology and everything related to it. Izuku, I want to bring the future to our world. With great excitement in his words, Izuku expresses his motivation, passion, and colossal determination. Nezu is surprised, never having seen someone with such a look. He also sees a huge flame, feeling a great emotion about what Izuku can achieve. Nezu, undoubtedly, he is someone remarkable and has a huge and successful future. Undoubtedly, he is Inko and Hisashi's son. Nezu, certainly, Inko-san, you gave birth to an exceptional boy. Izuku, I want to make the world see me as someone important, and I want them to know that a quirkless guy is going to change the world. With that said, our protagonist gives an incredible smile, causing Nezu to feel like he's blown away by Izuku's determination and immense desire to be someone significant in life. Nezu, wow. You really are an amazing young man. Izuku, thank you very much. Nezu, I will help you with whatever you set your mind to, young Izuku. You undoubtedly have a bright future, so I want to assist you with everything you have in mind. Izuku, thank you, director. Nezu, well, later, send me a message containing everything you need, so I can have it sent to your house. Izuku, yes, thank you very much. See you later. Nezu, good luck. Izuku runs to the window, where he jumps, surprising Nezu. He watches as Izuku flies away on a hoverboard. Nezu is astonished to see Izuku flying away on a hoverboard, getting up from his desk to approach the window and get a better look at Izuku flying. Nezu, you've got to be kidding me. This boy is a genius for real. Nezu expresses his excitement as he looks at the sky, then starts jumping in celebration and excitement. Nezu, yes. Finally, a boy who truly wants to be someone in life and didn't let not having a quirk bring him down. Without a doubt, this boy will change the world, and I'm very sure of that. Nezu continues celebrating while our protagonist flies home on his hoverboard. Izuku, this is the best idea and the best invention I've made in terms of utility after Mark 1. But in terms of affection, the best invention I've made is Wally, Eva, the Parobot, and the other small robots I have. Izuku says while flying at full speed, wearing goggles to protect his eyes from insects. Izuku, I still have a lot to improve on this hoverboard since I made it in a hurry, and it can only fly for 3 hours. After that, it doesn't work anymore because the turbine is a bit small and doesn't last long. But even so, I can improve it a lot and add many more things, but that will take me a little more time. But for now, I can improve the flight to move better and faster. Izuku continues flying until he reaches home. Upon entering, he finds the 5 women talking among themselves, but suddenly, he senses something that sends shivers down their spines. A joy so great that it would captivate anyone. A joy that would infect anyone because it is such a pure joy that it is indescribable. The heroines turn and see Izuku, who has a huge smile that makes the heroines feel like a mysterious force is sending them flying. A joy so pure that it would infect anyone. Our protagonist, before reaching the heroines, leaves the hoverboard on the floor, then jumps and lands on top of all the heroines, giving them a big hug. Kaina, love, what's going on? Why are you so happy? Ryukyu, did something really good happen? Your joy is enormous. Nemuri, tell us why you're so happy. Mirko, come on, tell us what's happening. They ask while they're on the floor, but our protagonist is so happy that he keeps hugging them, then bursts into several very happy and pure laughs. Izuku, I'm very happy because I talked to director Nezu, and he told me something that made me very happy. He says while sitting and eating pizza, with the women looking at him. Izuku, he told me that. From now on, he will help me with anything I propose because I had a serious conversation with him about the futuristic food place. He said he would help me with that because I have a great future. I told him that creating things with technology is what I'm very passionate about and what I love to do. He says while eating, surprising and exciting the 5 heroines because Izuku told them about the futuristic food place, causing them to say it's a good idea and that they will help in any way they can, making our protagonist excited. Kaina, that's great, love. I'm very proud of this significant achievement. Izuku, thank you, but I still have a lot to go through and much to learn. Ryukyu, that's right, dear, but we'll be supporting you in everything. Izuku, thank you. Now. How do you plan to start everything? Izuku, I haven't thought about it yet because the director told me that after returning from the trip to the Island, the sports festival will begin. That's where I'll have the opportunity to enter the hero class. What Izuku said surprises the 5 heroines a lot. Ryukyu, but you don't have a quirk. She says with a bit of sadness, causing the others to go silent, but our protagonist smiles. Izuku, despite not having a quirk, I'll be a hero using my intelligence. I'll create things that will help me be a hero because not everything in the world is about quirks. A person without a quirk can also be a hero because if they don't have a quirk, they have to train their mind and start learning many things to become a great hero. Quirks don't make heroes. True heroes are people who help others, risking their lives in the process. Izuku, anyone can be a hero, they just need the motivation to be one. Besides, there are martial arts and different training methods. For example, the hero Yoroi. He uses sword techniques, and his appearance is that of a samurai. The heroines recall the hero, causing them to sigh. Ryukyu, we know, but we don't want you to be in danger. Kaina, I'll protect you. Just focus on your studies and fulfill your dream of being the person who changes the world with your inventions. Izuku, but Kaina, I've spoken. You won't participate in the sports festival. She says with a serious and angry tone, surprising Izuku because he never thought Kaina would act like this, making our protagonist serious and stand up. Izuku, I'll make my own decisions, and if you don't want to accept it, I don't care. I own my life, and no one will tell me what to do. Izuku starts walking, but Kaina stands up and grabs him, causing our protagonist to turn around. Izuku, let go of me. Kaina, no. Izuku, let go. Kaina, I told you no, and if you won't listen, I'll have to force you. Using her hand-to-hand combat skills, Kaina overpowers our protagonist, who is very surprised and tries to break free. The 4 heroines stand up and start separating Kaina from Izuku until they succeed. Ryukyu, dear, I share Kaina's thoughts, and I don't want you to take risks. She says with a serious tone, surprising our protagonist, but he is even more surprised when he hears from Nemuri. Nemuri, I also don't want you to enter the sports festival because I don't want you to get hurt. I'll be the referee, and I know well what happens in the sports festivals every year. I don't want you to get injured. Our protagonist lowers his gaze a bit, while you and Mirko are behind him, touching his shoulder. Izuku, I don't care if you don't want me to participate in the festival. I'll participate anyway. With that said, our protagonist grabs his flying board and goes down to his workplace, where he starts venting his anger by fixing his board. He also starts improving it and sends a message to Nezu, asking for several things. Nezu buys them, and our protagonist thanks him, continuing to fix and improve his flying board. He also starts planning a new armor that can compress into a suitcase, calling it Mark III, and a new armor, red with gold, called Mark II. Our protagonist continues making plans until dinner time, where Kaina cooks something and goes down to deliver the food to Izuku. However, he doesn't let her enter his workplace, causing Kaina to be a little sad. She leaves the plate on the floor and goes to the first floor, where the women are watching movies, worried about our protagonist, who has been working all day. The hours pass until the early morning when Mirko hears noises and goes down to Izuku's workplace, where she sees him working on his flying board, adding interesting things to it. Mirko enters the place and walks up to Izuku. Mirko, Izuku. Izuku, what do you need, Miss Mirko? Mirko, are you going to sleep? Izuku, I don't have time for that. I have other things to do, and the night is short, so I better use it. Besides, the trip to the Island is near, and I need to have some things prepared. Mirko, by the way. Why you? Izuku, do you want an invitation to come? Mirko, why yes. I've never seen that place, and it would be interesting to see what's there. Izuku, there are many technological things there that can help heroes. Also, all the world's important scientists are there. I want to go because David Shield is one of the best in the world, and it would help me a lot. I can ask him for help with various things and also ask him to promote my inventions to get money for what I want. Mirko, and what is that? Izuku, to have my own advanced technology company where we can step into the future and a new era of peace. Mirko is surprised to hear what Izuku said, but our protagonist continues working silently until Mirko goes up to the first floor and cooks something. She then takes food to our protagonist, who also takes the plate Kaina prepared and starts eating both meals. Mirko, why are you eating that now? Izuku, my mother taught me that no matter how angry you are, you shouldn't leave food behind because food is not to blame for your anger. He says while continuing to eat, causing Mirko to stay silent for a few seconds. Mirko, do you miss her? Izuku remains silent for a few seconds until he decides to speak. Izuku, you can't imagine how much. I miss her. Every day. Every day, I wonder what would have happened if she were still alive. Maybe she would be happy with how I am now. Although I also know she won't come back, and I have to live with that. My only living memory of her is Wally, whom she helped me create. Our protagonist recalls his mother, causing tears to appear in his eyes. Izuku, every day, I miss her more and more. Losing her gave me a fear of losing the people I love. I don't want to lose someone I care about because she taught me many good things, like loving the people who love and care for you. She knew many things about life, which she taught me little by little, but she didn't finish teaching me everything she knew. He says while still crying, causing Mirko's heart to soften. Izuku, she was the best and will always be, even if she's not here. Our protagonist wipes away the tears but feels Mirko hugging him, surprising him a lot because he never thought or expected a hug from Mirko. Mirko, don't cry. She was and is a very good person, and no one can match her because she was unique and always will be. Besides, you are her pride and her greatest happiness. Izuku touches Mirko's arms, causing her to hug him tighter, and our protagonist cries silently because it's been a long time since he received such a hug. It also creates a beautiful mental image of Mirko and Izuku. A new day begins, and our main character is still working on some things while Mirko and the others wake up. Last night, when Mirko hugged Izuku, he told her to go to bed because he has to work today. Mirko gave him some nice words of support and even kissed him on the cheek. After that, she went to bed, and our main character continued working until now, where he receives the things Nezu bought. Our main character goes to the first floor, greeted by the heroines. He returns the greeting and takes the boxes to his workplace, seen by the heroines. Nemuri, does he have a new job? Kaina, I don't know. Ryukyu, maybe he's creating another robot. I'll ask if he wants help. Jarvis, I suggest you don't bother my lord because he has a lot of work today and doesn't want to be disturbed. Kaina, why do you say that, Jarvis? Jarvis, because he doesn't want to be bothered, he has a lot of work today. He doesn't want to make mistakes, as even a small detail could ruin his new project. The heroines are surprised by Jarvis's words, continue eating, and then go to work. Our main character keeps working, this time on the Mark III armor, crucial for the Island trip. He realizes he needs another reactor. Izuku, well, I'll need another reactor. He looks at the armor blueprints. Izuku, Our main character starts thinking until he gets the idea to create a larger reactor. After creating the reactor plans, he continues working on other things, using Nezu's bought materials. He's also working on something revolutionary, recovery capsules with healing liquid in sturdy glass capsules. Our main character continues working on the Mark II and Mark III armor the whole day without eating. Jarvis alerts him that the heroines arrived, so he hides the completed armor, pretending to work on a recovery sphere. Izuku, Jarvis, how's the recovery sphere coming along? Jarvis, I have a sketch ready, my lord. Here it is. Our main character is surprised but quickly starts working on it. Jarvis investigates recovery and wound regeneration, finding various materials, including plants. Our main character integrates these into a program, attempting to create the perfect recovery liquid. The heroines enter the workplace, noticing our main character's intense focus. Kaina knocks, and they find him surrounded by coffee stains, worrying about his caffeine intake. Kaina, love, why have you had so much coffee? Izuku, no time to sleep. I'm working on a huge invention that will propel me forward and revolutionize the world. He explains while building the base for the recovery sphere. Ryukyu, can you tell us what you're creating? Can we help? Izuku, no, you have work tomorrow. Go rest. My new creation is a sphere with healing liquid inside. I'm sure if I tell director Nezu and scientist David Shield about it, they'll be impressed, and more people will want to buy my inventions. He says while continuing to work, surprising the women who remain concerned. Ryukyu, do you want us to help you? Izuku, I already told you no. I have to do this alone, if something goes wrong, everything will be messed up. He finishes connecting some cables, causing the heroines to worry. They try to approach our protagonist, who pushes them away, making them step back. Nemuri, darling, please let us help, or at least go to sleep. You haven't slept for a whole day and night. You must be tired, so come on. She says with a delicate tone, trying to convince our protagonist, but she doesn't succeed. Izuku, you have to eat. Izuku, I'm not hungry. Kaina, please, at least eat. You don't have to focus on the invention all day, you can take it step by step. She says as she brings the plate towards Izuku, who sets it aside to continue working while eating until the meal is finished. Kaina and the other girls grab our protagonist and take him away from his workplace until they get him out to the patio. Izuku, what the heck are you doing? Let me, I have to keep working. Kaina, no. Ryukyu, listen, you don't have to focus so much on work. You need to sleep. You, rest. Nemuri, eat. Mirko, and go out to clear your mind. If you stay locked up working, you'll get sick. Izuku, but I'm fine. Let me, I have to keep working on my invention. Kaina, we know your inventions matter a lot to you, but you don't have to focus so much on them. You also have a life outside of work that you need to live. Ryukyu, we don't want you to concentrate so much, not sleeping is not good for you. You, please, sleep today, and tomorrow, you can continue with your work. She says while the others look at our protagonist, who remains silent for a few seconds before sighing and letting go. He then goes down to organize things, while the others watch. After finishing, our protagonist takes a shower while the heroines go to bed. Our protagonist, after showering, goes to sleep, but upon entering his room, he sees all the heroines lying on the bed, making him sigh. Izuku, what are you doing in my bed? Kaina, I want to sleep with you. Ryukyu, me too. Nemuri, X3. You, I. Me too. Mirko, I was forced. Izuku, sighs, I feel tired, so I don't have the energy to argue or anything. Besides, Kaina-chan, you still haven't apologized for what you did. Our protagonist turns around and then leaves his room, arriving at Kaina's room. He closes the door and lies down, leaving all the heroines with a poker face. Mirko, well, time to sleep. She says, then settles down and begins to sleep, as well as you, while the other heroines look at each other. Nemuri, I'm going to the bathroom, I'll be back in a moment. Kaina, hey, you stay here. Ryukyu, I'm hungry now. Nemuri and Ryukyu stand up and then leave the room, along with Kaina. The heroines walk to Kaina's room, where she tries to open the door, but it's locked. Kaina sighs and starts struggling until she manages to open the door, but Eva and Wally appear. Eva points her weapon at the heroines, making them surprised and a little scared. Eva, get out of here. Wally, our creator told us not to let anyone in, so. Wally takes out a weapon, making the heroines even more scared. Kaina, Wally, it's me. Wally, it doesn't matter. Our creator told us not to let anyone in, so get out. The heroines step back, and Wally closes the door, making them look at each other. Ryukyu, well, we're going to sleep. Nemuri, why yeah. And so, the three heroines go to sleep, while our protagonist sleeps like a baby. A new day begins, and our main character is already working on his new invention. However, he can't work peacefully because the 5 women pull him to the first floor for breakfast. Our main character goes along with the situation and has breakfast on the first floor. After finishing breakfast, he goes back to his workspace, where he continues working while the heroines go to work. At one point, our main character starts working on his 2 new armors again. Time skip, 2 weeks. During these 2 weeks, our main character gets along better with the 5 heroines. Kaina apologizes to him and promises to support his dream of becoming a hero. A surprise is that Yu also starts living in our main character's house, and they get along well. Our main character successfully creates his 2 new armors and a healing sphere. He also prepares for the upcoming sports festival, creating various gadgets. Now, our main character is finishing up the preparations to participate. Izuku, and with this, everything is ready. Now I can fight with ease. The lenses will help me anticipate attacks, and the headphones will allow me to communicate with Jarvis, who is also linked to the lenses. I've modified my shoes with propellers, and I have a bracelet for an energy shield. My gloves can generate and release stored energy like super strength. I added metal claws for attacks and can create mild wind currents. Finally, there's my modified katana that can launch energy slashes. Although it's a prototype with a limitation, I need to wait 5 minutes between each slash to recharge the compressed electricity. If I exceed 3 slashes, the sword will fail and explode. But I have faith it will work well. Jarvis, my lord, don't forget about the retractable lasso. Izuku, right. The lasso that can extend and retract. He presses a button, and a lasso appears, retracting when he releases the button. With this arsenal, I should be able to go far. I don't know if I'll win, but reaching a good position will satisfy me. Our main character looks at his inventions on the work table, including the hidden armors. Izuku hears a knock on the door, and Kaina enters, saying that lunch is ready. Izuku joins her on the first floor, where they have lunch with the other heroines. They discuss Izuku's plans for the festival and receive advice. After eating, they decide to train Izuku, who hasn't trained since his mother's death. Kaina, we're tight on time, so let's do a quick warm-up. You'll spar with Mirko, the rabbit hero. She'll help you regain mobility. No more delays, let's start. Izuku, but I need to warm up my muscles. Mirko, fine. We'll run from here to the house exit and back, around 30 times. Then we'll do push-ups and squats. Izuku, okay. The next day, Izuku loads his inventions into his car, and the heroines prepare. Izuku activates Jarvis with an extended range. He wishes for luck, and Jarvis expresses support. Before leaving, Izuku goes to his room, looks at a photo of him and his mother, and asks for her help in facing the challenges and making people interested in his inventions. He says with his hands together while looking at his mother's photo until he finishes speaking. After that, he leaves the house with the heroines, gets into the car, and they head towards UA, arriving after a while. Our main character and his waifus get out of the car and walk until they reach the stadium, where they stop because they have to separate. Ryukyu, love, I hope you do really well and manage to pass the festival. Izuku, thank you very much. Mirko, I'll be watching, so give it your best. Izuku, always. You, make sure to win. Izuku, I'll do my best to win. Kaina, love, I have faith in you, and I'm sure you can win. Izuku, thank you. Your support means a lot to me. All 4, you're welcome. Nemuri, I'll just say that I hope you can win and do your best. I'll be watching as I am the referee, so give it your all. Izuku, of course. The heroines give him a kiss, causing him to blush, but without further ado, he runs off with a bag in his right hand containing his inventions. After a few minutes, our main character arrives at his changing room, changes his clothes, puts on all his inventions, and then heads to the field where everyone is gathered. Since nobody cares about the introduction of the first trial of the festival, we'll skip to the moment when everyone is preparing for the race. Our main character looks at his inventions, the katana is on his back, and he wears his lenses, activating them to link with Jarvis, who begins to speak to Izuku through the headphones. The lenses and headphones, the lenses and headphones. Jarvis: well, my lord, everything works perfectly. I have a view of the entire stadium and everything it contains. I've also figured out everything around the competition circuit. Izuku: great, Jarvis. Thanks. Now we just have to wait for the trial to begin. Jarvis: my lord, may I offer some advice? Izuku: certainly, Jarvis. Jarvis: be careful, as I predict the entrance to the circuit will be crowded, and many will be trapped. You can use the propellers in your shoes and the wind current generator to fly over everyone. Izuku: thanks, Jarvis. You're a great help. Jarvis: you're welcome, my lord. Izuku prepares along with everyone else, while the heroines watch our main character from the stands. Mirko: he seems excited. Ryukyu: yes, after all, this is a big challenge for him since he doesn't have a quirk. Kaina: but he has his inventions. His inventions are amazing. We even got to see how they work yesterday. Yu: yes, but the only invention we haven't seen in action is the katana. Knowing Izuku, I'm sure that katana will play a significant role in battles. Kaina: exactly. Mirko: yes. Strive, Izuku, and give your best so you can pass the first trial. Nemuri: begin. The race started, and everyone began running towards the circuit, but our protagonist stood still and waited for a few minutes. Soon, he felt a significant chill, observing others frozen in place due to ice on the ground. This prompted our protagonist to activate his thrusters, lifting slightly into the air. He then activated his gloves, propelling himself forward, causing everyone to be amazed as he flew over them and escaped the icy trap. However, someone shouted at him. Bakugo: damn nerd, how dare you fly over me? Bakugo then unleashed explosions from his hands, breaking free from the ice, along with others. On the heroine's side, Kaina wasn't pleased to see Bakugo again and hear him insult Izuku. Izuku landed, ran ahead, but encountered robots. He reached for his katana, but a bicolored individual froze the robots, allowing Izuku to fly into the lead. However, the bicolored person started catching up, while Bakugo passed all the frozen robots, securing third place. Kaina: well done, love. Keep holding first place. Ryukyu: he took advantage of the frozen robots and secured the lead. Yu: yes, he's quite smart. Mirko: indeed, he seizes every opportunity. The heroines continued discussing our protagonist while he kept advancing. The bicolored person challenged him, causing Izuku to dodge attacks from both Ice and Bakugo. Jarvis, an AI assistant, advised him to grab their left arms and maneuver to crash them. Izuku followed the advice, causing the bicolored person and Bakugo to crash, allowing Izuku to resume running, now in fourth place. Kaina: damn it. That brat. I'm going to get him. Mirko: relax, Izuku can catch up. While the heroines monitored the screens, our protagonist used his thrusters to pass several competitors. However, a blonde girl with a metal payload was ahead. Bakugo and the bicolored person recovered, raced ahead, and encountered a canyon with rocky pillars connected by ropes. Our protagonist used his thrusters to overcome this obstacle, but Bakugo and the bicolored person continued attacking. A pillar hit Izuku's right leg, causing a bleeding wound. He stopped, tended to the wound, and used his thrusters to continue, now aware of a minefield ahead. Jarvis: my lord, there's a minefield ahead with 60 mines. Be cautious. Izuku: thank you, Jarvis. Our protagonist tore his right sleeve, covered the wound, and pressed on. Heroine sighed in relief and happiness as they watched Izuku persist. However, a massive explosion occurred behind him. A blonde girl flew over him, even reaching Bakugo and the bicolored person, causing another explosion. Despite overheating thrusters, Izuku managed to pass them, securing second place. The crowd cheered, and the heroines were happy with his achievement. Jarvis: well done, my lord. Second place is impressive, considering you surpassed 2 strong quirks. Izuku: yes, thanks, Jarvis. I knew I couldn't reach first place, but I gave my best. Even though my thrusters are damaged, and I can't use them for a while. He still has his other inventions, so don't be discouraged. Izuku: I never would. Our protagonist smiles, causing the heroines to smile as they watch Izuku on the screens. Kaina, he's happy. I'm so glad. Ryukyu, he knows not to get depressed. At least, he secured second place, quite impressive for a quirkless kid. You, exactly. Besides, that damn Endeavor's son harmed him just because he got ahead. Mirko, that's called envy and anger. It's clear he's just like his father, egotistical and proud. Ryukyu, who are you to say that? Mirko, at least, I'm trying to change, but that damn Endeavor is garbage. Kaina, I think 2 kids might end up dead after the festival. Ryukyu, don't harm them, you know these kids often don't go far and sink into their own mess. Kaina, I know, but that bastard had no right to hurt my Izuku. He worked hard to be in the first place, and that bastard hurt him. Mirko, stay calm. There are still tests where Izuku can come first. Ryukyu, Mirko is right. So don't lose patience, Kaina, and you too, you. We all know Endeavor and the upbringing he gave his kids. You, yes, I know, but he shouldn't have done that. She says while looking at our protagonist, who checks his wound. Seeing it still bleeding, he tightens the makeshift bandage. Izuku, it hurts a bit, and I think I'll weaken gradually due to blood loss, even if it's not fast. Our protagonist sighs, preparing for the next trial, which is cavalry. Since no one cares about this trial, we'll skip it. Our protagonist ends up in second place again, surprising all heroes and people in the stadium and even those watching at home. He stayed alone, flying with his thrusters all the time without touching the ground. In the last moment, he managed to snatch 3 bands from Bakugo, infuriating him. Nevertheless, our protagonist moves on to the next round. If you wonder why he was alone, it's because he didn't attract the attention of the other participants. Nemuri, well, now we move on to the next trial, which is 1 versus 1. Here are the matchups. An image of the matchups appears on one of the stadium screens. Izuku looks at the screen, surprised to see that he will fight against the pirate Flash, who looks at him and approaches. Ida, I hope our battle is good and fair. He says, extending his hand to Izuku, who shakes it. Izuku, of course. Nothing would make me happier. Ida and Izuku smile, then release their hands and return to their seats. Bakugo glares at Izuku, who ignores him. Shoto also glares, but our protagonist pays no attention. Moreover, there's no one around him because he chose to sit apart from the others. Kaina approaches our protagonist, who looks surprised to see her beside him. Yu, Mirko, and Ryukyu also come over and sit with him, causing everyone from Class A and B to look at them in surprise. Izuku, what are you doing here? Kaina, can't I come to see my boyfriend? Everyone is surprised to learn that our protagonist has a romantic relationship with the assassin Nagant. On Bakugo's side, he's terrified, remembering the time Kaina tortured him. Kaina glances at Bakugo, giving him a hateful look, as well as Shoto, who ignores her. Our protagonist grabs Kaina's hand, and she hugs him. Mineta is very jealous, but it's not the time for that because the first battle is about to begin. Nemuri, alright, now we move on to the first battle, which is. The stadium screen shows an image of 2 people. Nemuri, move to the battle platform, Shoto Todoroki and Sero Hanta. Nemuri says, causing Shoto and Sero to stand up and walk to the battle platform where they look into each other's eyes. Sero, I hope it's a good battle, Todoroki. Shoto remains silent, making Sero sweat anime style, but Nemuri starts the battle, and Sero attacks Shoto. However, Shoto quickly finishes the fight with a powerful ice attack, surprising everyone. Nemuri, the winner of the first battle is Shoto Todoroki. Nemuri says, causing the stadium to cheer with excitement. Our protagonist is surprised by the potent attack. Izuku, amazing. Kaina, are you sure about this? Izuku, of course. I may not have a quirk, but I have my inventions to secure a win. Our protagonist says, surprising everyone in the stands. But it's not the time to discuss it as Nemuri speaks again. Nemuri, the next battle is between Melissa Shield and Shinso Hiroshi. The mentioned ones, please move to the battle platform. Shinso, alright. I'll be direct, my quirk isn't useful for close combat. Let's do something, okay? Melissa, S. Shinso, gotcha. Melissa's eyes go completely blank, indicating she fell for Shinso's mind control quirk. The audience is surprised. Shinso instructs Melissa to turn around and leave the platform, and she obeys. However, before leaving, Melissa generates a strong wind, breaking free from Shinso's control but injuring her fingers. Shinso, how did you break free from my mind control? Melissa, I won't let you win. Melissa says, attacking Shinso. The outcome mirrors the anime, but Melissa is in Izuku's place. Nemuri, the winner of this battle is Melissa Shield. Everyone cheers, but Melissa heads to the infirmary to get her fingers treated. Nemuri, alright, on to the next battle. Please, students Ida Tenya and my Izuku Midoriya, move to the battle platform. Nemuri says, causing the heroines to give our protagonist cheek kisses. He and Ida then step onto the platform, ready for their battle. Izuku, I hope it's a good fight. Ida, I feel the same, Midoriya Izuku-san. Nemuri, begin. And so, the fight begins. Our protagonist prepares to fight and quickly blocks a kick from Ida using his arms in an X shape. My lord, I've analyzed the motors in your opponent's legs. Force him to use his maximum speed because after that, his motors overheat. He says while showing images to our protagonist of the occasion when Ida used his maximum speed in the cavalry battle. Izuku, great, now I know what to do. Our protagonist grabs Ida's leg, then starts spinning rapidly until he stops and throws Ida out of the platform. However, Ida manages to stop himself before falling, exciting the crowd. Kaina, come on, darling, you can do it. Ryukyu, go, Izuku. I know you can win. You, use everything you have to your advantage. Mirko, good. Tire him out and force him to use his maximum speed. After that, his motors stop working. The heroines advise as they watch Izuku, who looks seriously at Ida, who smiles. However, Izuku doesn't have time to react as Ida accelerates his motors, flames emerge, and he moves quickly on the platform. The audience watches attentively while Izuku stands in the middle. Suddenly, rapid punches start hitting Izuku's face. He spits blood, lying on the ground. Izuku, damn, he's too fast. I need to figure out where he's attacking from. He says as he gets up, but again, he suffers from Ida's punches. Ida gets faster, hitting Izuku more frequently. Suddenly, Ida appears next to Izuku, landing a punch on his face, causing him to crawl toward the platform's edge. The heroines and Nemuri worry, but Izuku activates the claws on his gloves, stopping himself by digging them into the ground, exciting the crowd. However, he stands up, spitting blood to the side, and looks at Ida. Ida, you're quite interesting, Midoriya Izuku-san. Izuku, thanks, but I won't let you defeat me. I plan to win this festival. Ida, same here, but let's see who wins. Izuku, come then. Ida, you asked for it. Ida poses, and our protagonist assumes a fighting stance. Ida activates his maximum speed, releasing blue flames from his exhaust pipes, running circles around Izuku. Despite being prepared, Izuku suffers from the pain of Ida's punches, and the heroines and Nemuri worry as Izuku is once again being pushed toward the platform's edge. Izuku, Jarvis, activate the gloves and make them absorb air. Jarvis, understood, my lord. Jarvis follows Izuku's instructions, and our protagonist continues receiving punches until he gradually raises his arms in an X shape, blocking Ida's punches. Ida, this will finish it. Ida increases his speed, landing numerous punches on Izuku's arms. Suddenly, Ida jumps, spinning in the air, then launches himself at Izuku. He changes his defense, bringing his arms diagonally to cover his head. When Ida reaches him, he kicks Izuku's arms, causing immense pain and creating a small crater. The heroines and Nemuri worry as Izuku grabs Ida's leg, activates his thrusters, and flies straight up, surprising everyone, including the heroines who watch in concern and awe as Izuku rises to about 40 meters. Izuku stops and starts spinning like a wheel, making Ida dizzy. After a few seconds, he stops and throws Ida against the platform, creating a crater and exciting the crowd, as a dust cloud rises. However, Izuku is not finished. Izuku, this is for all the hits you gave me. Izuku, improvised move, avenging hurricane. With that, our protagonist releases a compressed and powerful wind from his glove, hitting Ida hard, causing significant injuries and creating a large wind curtain. Izuku descends to the battle platform but feels immense pain in his arms, kneeling down. Nemuri begins to speak, but it's not the time for that as Izuku is not done yet. Nemuri, the winner of the third match is Izuku Midoriya. The crowd cheers in excitement upon hearing that Izuku won. The heroines also scream in excitement, saying things like well done, my love. You're the best, dear. I'll pamper you a lot. I love you, Izuku. I'll make you happy in bed, etc. Our protagonist blushes at the heroine's shouts, while Nemuri feels jealous for not being able to say something affectionate to Izuku. He walks over to Ida, who is unconscious, and lifts him onto his back before leaving with him, receiving positive shouts from the crowd who appreciates his injured effort to help someone. Kaina, without a doubt, Izuku is the love of my life. Ryukyu, shut up, he's the love of my life. Mirko, quiet, please. If you keep talking like that, the students will look at us strangely. You, what's wrong with expressing affection for Izuku? Mirko, nothing, but we can't do it here since we're almost next to the students, and you know how students can be. Kaina, it doesn't matter. I'll go see my Izuku. She says, standing up and going in search of Izuku, followed by Yu and Ryukyu, leaving Mirko sighing and sitting alone. Mirko, they're so crazy. Well, I can't blame them, Izuku is quite amazing. She says while looking at the platform, recalling the moment when Izuku stopped Ida's kick. After a few seconds, Ryukyu and the other two women return with Izuku, who has both arms slightly bandaged and the wound on his leg. Izuku sits next to Mirko, Kaina sits next to him, while Yu massages Izuku's shoulders, and Ryukyu pets him. Kaina, love, your battle was incredible. Izuku, thank you very much. Ryukyu, what you did to help that boy is noble and beautiful. It makes me like you more and more. Kaina, Izuku, my love, you make me fall even more in love with you. Izuku, don't say those things, and we're not alone. Mirko, I told them the same, but they don't listen. You, does it bother you if we show you affection, Izuku? Izuku, and no, but we're with many people, and it's a bit uncomfortable to be watched. He says, glancing at everyone in Class A and B. Upon realizing that Izuku is looking at them, they quickly look away. Nemuri, well then, let's move on to the fourth match of the first round. Please step onto the combat platform, Uraka Ochako and Bakugo Katsuki. Nemuri says, causing the mentioned ones to stand up and walk to the combat platform, where they look into each other's eyes. Nemuri, the winner is Bakugo Katsuki. In the previous chapter of Married to 4 Heroines and 1 Murderer. Kaina, love, your battle was amazing. Izuku, thank you very much. Ryukyu, what you did to help that boy is very noble and kind of you. It makes me like you more and more. Kaina, my love, Izuku, you make me fall even more in love with you. Izuku, please don't say such things, especially when we're not alone. Mirko, I told them the same, but they don't listen. You, does it bother you if we show you affection, Izuku? Izuku, and no, but we're with many people, and it's a bit uncomfortable when they watch us. He says while glancing at everyone from Class A and B. When they notice Izuku looking, they quickly look away. Nemuri, well, let's move on to the fourth battle of the first round. Please step onto the combat platform, Uraka Ochako and Bakugo Katsuki. Nemuri says, causing the mentioned ones to stand up and walk to the combat platform. Upon reaching it, they gaze into each other's eyes. Everything happens as it did in the anime, so let's quickly move on to this battle. Nemuri, the winner is Bakugo Katsuki. Current chapter. Opening. Nemuri, here are the next battles. With that said, the battle organization appears on the stadium's TV. Bakugo, upon seeing who he has to fight, forms a sadistic and eerie smile, while Izuku silently observes his gloves, recalling every time Bakugo mistreated and insulted him until he moved away. 4. Bakugo, upon seeing who he has to fight, forms a sadistic and eerie smile, while Izuku silently observes his gloves, recalling every time Bakugo mistreated and insulted him until they moved away, causing our protagonist to feel a bit of fear and insecurity. But suddenly, he feels the 4 heroines grabbing his hands, snapping Izuku out of his trance. He looks at the women, and they smile at him. The 4, are you okay? Izuku looks at them silently, and all the fear and insecurity he felt vanish. Our protagonist smiles and gently squeezes the women's hands. Izuku, yes. Thank you. And so, our protagonist looks towards the battle platform. Nemuri, please, students Shoto Todoroki and Melissa Shield, step onto the combat platform. With that said, Melissa and Shoto step onto the combat platform, locking eyes. Melissa and Shoto step onto the combat platform, locking eyes. Nemuri, begin. The same events as in the anime unfold, but instead of Izuku, it's Melissa who sees the shadows of the previous Ofa bearers. She triggers Shoto's fire power, and we stop at the moment when Shoto activates his flames, and Melissa is smiling. Shoto, why are you smiling? With those injuries and in this situation, you won't win. Don't blame me for what happens from now on. He says, then starts unleashing his power, just like Melissa, who jumps, avoiding Shoto's huge ice attack. Shoto activates his flames and moves his hand forward. Shoto, shield. Thanks. With that said, both fail to land attacks because Cementos creates walls, and Midnight releases her gas, causing a massive explosion that almost blows some spectators off their seats. Izuku, it's clear that the hero course is filled with quite foolish people. He says while observing everything, but, thanks to his glasses, he manages to see who won. He stays silent until the dust settles, revealing Shoto on the combat platform and Melissa outside, quite injured and unconscious, concluding the fight. Nemuri, the winner of the first fight of the second round is Shoto Todoroki. Nemuri, the winner of the first fight of the second round is Shoto Todoroki. The crowd cheers with excitement, and our protagonist watches as they take Melissa away. At one moment, he looks at Shoto, who also looks at him. They exchange glances, but Shoto feels a pressure he has never felt before, something strange that cannot be described, not fear or anything like that. Without further ado, the doctors take Melissa away, and Shoto goes to the locker room to change. When he comes out, Nemuri has already called Bakugo and Izuku, who walk towards the platform. On the way, our protagonist encounters Shoto and Endeavor, who are talking. Shoto looks at Izuku, causing him to give a serious look in return. However, they don't say anything to each other, and Izuku walks past them. Endeavor, though, stops Izuku. Izuku, what do you need? Endeavor, seriously, you don't have a quirk? Izuku, no. Endeavor, then what are you doing here? This school is only for people with quirks, so you shouldn't be here. Besides, in the first test, you left Shoto in 4th place. Endeavor says as he approaches Izuku, trying to intimidate him. However, he fails, as we all know Izuku lives with people much worse than Endeavor. Izuku, how far the number 2 hero has fallen. Endeavor, huh? Izuku, you're trying to intimidate me, but let me tell you, it won't work. I live with people much worse than you, and they aren't capable of stooping as low as you just because your son came in 4th place in the obstacle race. Endeavor, I see you're a disrespectful brat. You should show me respect because if you don't, I can have you expelled from this academy. Mirko, what are you going to do? Ryukyu, did I hear correctly? Kaina, it seems you want me to put a bullet up your ass, don't you, damn number 2 son of a bitch? You, I can endure many things, but I won't tolerate you speaking ill of Izuku. The 4 women say as they exude a strong murderous instinct, causing Endeavor's skin to crawl. He turns and almost panics as he sees the 4 heroines extremely angry. Kaina, love, go away. Your fight is about to begin. The rest of us will take care of this bastard who dared to speak ill of you. Izuku, don't cause problems, you know well what the director will say. Ryukyu, we know, now go. Izuku, alright. And so, our protagonist goes to the combat platform while our heroines stay there, gradually approaching Endeavor, who is quite scared as he has never seen Mirko, Ryukyu, Kaina, and you so angry before. We change the scene to where our protagonist is looking into Bakugo's eyes, who does the same. From the stands, the 4 heroines shout to cheer on Izuku, who just sighs. Nemuri, begin. Nemuri, begin. Izuku, I see we meet again, but this time on the battlefield. Bakugo, shut up, damn nerd. I don't know how you got here, but you won't get past me, and I'll make you pay for beating me in the obstacle race. Bakugo says, then creates explosions in his hands, propelling himself towards our protagonist. Izuku quickly dodges all of Bakugo's attacks because Jarvis activated a function in his glasses that allows him to see everything in slow motion, but it only works for 3 minutes. Izuku has to make the most of every second, and he does. Our protagonist counterattacks with a punch that hits Bakugo's face, but he doesn't stop there. He delivers a kick to Bakugo's stomach, making him recoil and leaving a trail of destruction on the ground. The audience cheers with excitement, and in the stands, Bakugo's classmates are surprised, but our heroines are happy. Mirko, well done. Keep it up. Bakugo lifts his head, furious, with his hands in claw-like shape. Bakugo, damn nerd, son of a bitch. How dare you hit me? He says, then attacks Izuku with explosions, but our protagonist dodges them all. He then releases a gust of wind, lifting dust from the ground, causing Bakugo to lose sight of Izuku. Our protagonist appears behind Bakugo, delivering a kick to his back. Bakugo quickly turns, launching an explosion that hits nothing, while Izuku appears by Bakugo's side, delivering a strong punch to his face. Bakugo falls and rolls on the ground until he stops, eliciting cheers from the crowd. Ryukyu, it seems he has his own strategies. You, after all, He is one of the smartest and most calculating in this academy, just surpassed by Nezu. Kaina, exactly. Besides, what did you expect? He's my future husband. Mirko, enough of that, but Ryukyu is right. Izuku has quite interesting strategies. Using dust to make the enemy lose your location is a good idea that will serve him in his future battles. Kaina, exactly. Bakugo becomes more and more furious, attacking recklessly, and Izuku takes advantage of it, delivering numerous punches and kicks, causing Bakugo to spit blood with a broken lip. Izuku, you know, to be number one, you have to drop that attitude. Fury doesn't help you in a battle, it only makes you more vulnerable and easier to dodge and hit. Bakugo, shut up, damn bastard. A quirkless like you can't lecture me, the next number one. He shouts loudly, causing the stadium to fall silent as now everyone knows Izuku is quirkless. Comments start spreading among the people, and our protagonist just looks seriously at Bakugo, who has a sickening smile. Izuku, you know, despite everything between us, I always had hoped that you'd change. But I see that will never happen. An arrogant and conceited piece of crap like you will always be garbage as a person and as a human, just like as a hero. He says coldly while walking towards Bakugo. Izuku, plus, you called me the son of a bitch. You know very well that my mother is dead, and the reason is unknown. Yet, you keep mentioning her and treating me badly, even though I never did anything wrong to you. Our protagonist arrives in front of Bakugo, who raises his right arm and attacks. Izuku receives the explosion, leaving his cheek slightly burned. Bakugo attacks again, but this time Izuku dodges and ducks, then turns and hits upward with his right leg, causing Bakugo to recoil. Izuku jumps a bit in the air and delivers a punch to Bakugo's stomach, making him spit saliva and fall to the ground. Our protagonist uses his thrusters to elevate a bit, about 3 meters, then turns them off, landing on Bakugo's stomach, making him spit blood. Izuku, you are and will always be shit, Katsuki Bakugo. He says coldly, surprising the 5 heroines. Izuku jumps back, and Bakugo stands using his explosions, causing the audience to cheer. Bakugo, I'm going to kill you, damn bastard. Izuku, try it. Bakugo becomes angrier and launches an attack towards our protagonist, who assumes a fighting stance.